Anybody out there tonight? All right. Just waiting for some people to show up here. Everybody doing all right tonight? You guys hear me out there? Anybody gonna talk tonight? This is a live stream. There's a chat going there. Well, hello there, Charlie and Steven. So you can hear me. All right, good. How you folks doing tonight? All right. Well, decided to do another live stream. I haven't done one in a while. I wanted to do more of them, but didn't plan on losing my job and all the other crazy stuff going on. Um, working 6 days a week now at the detention center, as well as running my little homestead, being a husband and a dad as well. So it takes a lot of my time up, but really digging the new job. Uh, it's odd though. It's really different. It's something I've never done before, and I truly believe God threw me into this position, honestly. So it's different. Yesterday, me and one other staff member took down like 10 kids to go play basketball in the gym, and it wound up with a big brawl. And they're all kids, so it's not like I can lay hands on them, but I'm trying to stop. Me and one other guy stopped 10 kids from beating each other up, and it was a feat. It was, but we finally got it under control. But yeah, it's a very difficult job, very difficult. Buffering out there. Anybody else? Yeah, I seen that Northern Girl Hobbies doing the live chat. That's really awesome that she's out there. Trudeau's hiding in his bunker. That sounds about right. Yeah, it is tough. And I wouldn't even say physically, but mentally. I was pretty exhausted when I got home last night after dealing with all that. Because, you have to stay and do a bunch of paperwork and stuff like that. Um, and, they are kids, but, they fight and act, well, they act like children, but they fight like men. So it was rather scary sight and very hard to not go hands on with them when you're in a position like that. You just kind of see tunnel vision. I used to box and stuff like that, so it's hard not to just fall back into that if you happen to get hit or something. Yeah, some of these guys they tower over me, honestly, but they don't have nearly as many skills. They haven't been around the block as many times as I have, so I react a lot quicker than they do. That's one thing I realize is they're fast, but they're not that fast. So the main topic I wanted to do on this live stream tonight was kind of some of your strengths, and whether that's like a prepping strength, or just an everyday strength, something you're good at, something that you feel like you have to contribute to this community of people. Um, Everybody has a certain set of skills, and it doesn't have to be specific. I would say if I had to talk about myself, I would probably say, I'm a good leader at times. I've been in management a lot, so I'm really good with working with people. Um, and then now with this, new job, like, and I've done armed security and stuff like that, but never anything like this. I mean, I'm not even armed there, so. But high stress situations, I guess I deal with well. I'm just, calm and mellow no matter what happens. So I would say those are a few of my strengths as far as that goes. But anybody else got anything they think they're extremely good at out there? Yeah, the kids have more protection than those watching for them. It's true. I mean, when you have two men watching, 10 kids that are our size or bigger, it's, you know, you're asking the world pretty much. Start a war in late February after the Olympics. Yeah, I've heard that from several people, and I could predict all day long, but I really don't know. I just know tensions are getting bad everywhere. Not only with Russia but China as well. I mean, the more they, over there, the more we're going to react supposedly. So there's tensions from every direction pretty much, and it really comes down to who's on whose side and how far they're willing to take it. If they're going to go nuclear, I mean, that could be a bad avenue to start down. Uh, we bomb them, they bomb us, back and forth, whatever it may be. I mean, we're the superpowers of the world, so nobody wants to back down, basically. Yeah, some of those kids I work with are extremely large. Good at doing anything. Yeah, that seems to be a strong suit of mine. I guess would be I'm not, I guess, expertise in much of anything, but I'm mediocre at everything. So I know a little bit of everything. Yep, the Great Reset. You know, I remember when you say things like that or the New World Order or whatever. What 20 years ago people would have called you a conspiracist, and now it's just common knowledge. Everybody knows about it. I mean, they're blatantly coming out and saying it. So know how to live without power, indoor plumbing, how to make soap, candles. Yeah, I mean, and your age group really is the last of those. I mean, there's a few scragglers here and there, but as much as I'm into the things I am into now, I had to learn all those skills um, myself. I didn't, I was a city boy growing up, so. But yeah, that's amazing that you can live like that. I know my great grandmother. I didn't know her real well, but we'd go to visit her when I was a kid, and she had a huge kitchen for cooking and processing things in there, and she did all her own canning and everything from scratch. They had she had an outhouse, no indoor plumbing, and then when she did have sinks and stuff, they were like the giant, almost like a mop basin sink because they did everything, and it was they had to have a big kitchen then. You did everything from scratch. Um, so my mom kind of got a taste of that. She was in your age range, but she was pretty much raised in the city as well. So the only time she really experienced that was going to grandma's house. Yeah, knowledge is a very good asset to have nowadays. Knowledge is power. It truly is. I'd say second to that would be food. Average to good on most things. And really, that's, I don't strive to be the best at anything, but, I want to learn a little bit of everything because the more skills you have when everything gets really horrible, the better off you're going to be, honestly. I mean, having a stockpile of things helps, but in the end, depending on how bad it gets, you're going to really need skills more than anything and knowing how to use things around you, even. So, and I pray to God it never gets that bad, like third world country type thing, but you never know with the way the world's going. It's getting rather scary out there. New term for the old term, yeah. And everybody tries to put their own conspiracy spin on everything, but uh, really, I mean, whatever you want to call it, the Illuminati, the dark side, I mean, they're all connected, and no matter what name you give them, we know who everybody's talking about when you say anything like that, the New World Order or whatever. Kraft and Heinz is raising their prices 30% across the board. Yeah, I heard that. And then I heard this week alone that natural gas has gone up like 30% too. So you have a farm with a community of like minded people. That's awesome. That's kind of what I strive for. I took on a mortgage right before everything went bad, about 3 years ago. And it really, I guess, worked out in my favor. You know, the people I got my loan through wanted me to get a bigger loan, basically a bigger house, and I didn't want it. At the time, I could have afforded it, but I really wanted something that I didn't pay a lot on, so I could have extra money to prep and do things. And so I pay extra in trying to get my house paid off, so I can eventually just get some land and have a tiny home or a building, basically something I can live in, me and my wife, and raise most of our own stuff. Have our own garden, and try to live as minimal as possible. Get away from the big city, just because I mean it's probably going to be the way to go in the future. If even if there is grocery stores around, I mean look how expensive things are getting so quickly, and I mean everybody's forecasting it's not getting any better, and I think we all know that. And you'll have to excuse me, I'm kind of stuffed up today. The weather is all over the place. It was like 65 today here, and it's supposed to be 70 tomorrow. So, and then it dips down and freezes and stuff. 50,000 truckers. That's awesome. And that's the thing, and that's what I try to, I don't want to say preach, but for lack of words, preach in my videos is, stand up. The more people we have standing up to all this tyranny across the board, I mean, all around the world, the better chances we have. And really, here in the United States, we have the best chances just altogether because, for one, we have guns and we have enough like minded people, I feel like, around just in this country alone that could really stir some things up if they wanted to. It's just a matter of how many people are actually willing to stand for that when it comes down to it because everybody acts like they do, but things can change in a heartbeat, and how are people going to react? I really don't know if there's enough people that would stand up anymore. Wow, $15 a gallon. Yeah, see, that's what we're thinking of doing with the shed thing. Getting a few of them and maybe conjoining them, having one for a bedroom and one for like a living space, one for a kitchen or whatever. It seems like the way to go, really. I mean, houses are ridiculous, and if you if I did have some land and try to build a home on it, I mean, God knows how much it would cost with the cost of lumber and everything the way it is right now. Thank you on the flag. I spent literally days looking at flags for something I would want in my videos. So when I buy things like that, I go crazy on looking at every last one of them. Yeah, small, close knit communities is the way to go. Um, I'm pretty much stuck where I'm at for a bit until I get this mortgage paid down some, at least have enough equity. And, not to mention we have the kids here, and I want them to continue going to school where they go instead of they have a pretty decent school. So, kind of putting that off for a while, but, eventually that's what I want to do is just get some land and create my own little homestead because where I'm at, it's not huge. I have enough, I have about an acre and a half, enough to do a lot of my own things, have a decent garden and some chickens and stuff. But eventually, if I wanted like cattle or something like that, yeah, I'm gonna need a lot more land. So ideally, that would be good. And I'm really kind of excited. We have some new neighbors that moved in next door, and I don't really sway either way in politics, but I'm very conservative, and they have a Trump flag waving in the yard. So that's one good thing, I guess. So but they haven't been there long, so kind of see what they're about. I know my wife went over there and poked her head in and talked to him, and I guess the man was raised on a farm, so he's at least like-minded there. They're gonna have chickens and stuff, so pretty much half the houses on my block have roosters crowing in the morning. So it's nice being around a lot of people that are at least like-minded in that area. That I don't have to worry about them stealing my chickens because they have their own. Yeah, try to call representatives. They don't care, and that's the thing is, I hear it endless times to call representatives and things like that, and I get it, but I really have no faith in the political system hardly at all anymore, honestly. And it's I just feel like it's all corrupt at this point at every tier, and I really don't think it makes a difference. I mean, anybody reputable that you would want in a higher position in the federal government, they're never going to make it there. You can guarantee that because they're not a puppet. They have to play the game to get there, and if they're decent, they won't. So we're always going to have these choices of people that we don't necessarily like, and even then, like how much of the voting process is real and how much of it is rigged. I've just lost complete faith in all of it, really. Yeah, this shed thing. My mom actually, I moved her in here shortly after we moved in, and I built her, or I didn't build it, but I got her a woman shed out there. A she den, I think is what they call it. So, and we ran electric and all that to it. So I figured, why not? I could live in something like that. The only part I'm not good at is really the plumbing. So I'd have to pay somebody for that. Some good reps in Colorado. Hey, Red Leg, how's it going, man? Thanks for coming. Yeah, chickens are easy, and when I first started my little homestead, I got ducks because I read that they're a little hardier, and you don't got to worry about disease and all that. But little did I know that chickens are really the way to go. Not to mention, I'm not a big duck fan or duck egg fan for that matter. So, but chickens are easy. I mean, I have like 14 hens and three roosters now, and it's simple. The hardest part's taking care of the ducks out there. They require like so much water. It's ridiculous. I have to go out there with 5 gallon buckets of water, no matter how cold or what the weather is. I'm out there. So Goats will eat everything. Yeah, I wanted goats there for a while till I realized like I've never even tried goat meat or goat milk or anything like that. I've tried some goat cheese and I wasn't a big fan, so I figured like that would probably be a bad choice for me. But I honestly want turkeys, if anything. I'm definitely getting some turkeys in the spring, and I'd like some cooney pigs just because they're a little bit smaller. But I don't know. It depends on how busy I am at work and everything. Between work and taking care of a bunch of animals, and living the home life here too, it takes a lot of time. So I figure the more animals I add, the a little bit more hectic it's going to get. Amen. Yeah. Yeah. I try to spread good things, and I don't get too involved in the religious talk on here. It's not because I don't have an opinion, but I definitely think more people need to seek Jesus, get closer to God. Are we in the exact end times? I don't know about that. I'm not going to predict here on that, but I definitely think that the world is getting to be a dark place, and people really need to think about that in their choices in life and stuff. Um, it's polarized. It's so much different now than when I was a kid. It blows me away, and I can't imagine 20 years from now. Um, Socks, beans, and things. Your neighbors are too close. Well, I mean, how close are we talking here? Because a few chickens isn't that noisy. It's when you get a bunch, or if you have roosters mainly. I have, like I said, 14 hens, so they can get pretty noisy. But if you had three or four, it's probably not that bad, honestly. If you're just wanting to get eggs out of them or whatever. I don't know if they're that close. Yeah, you're probably not going to be raising enough for meat and things like that. But you could definitely have a few of them around just for eggs. I mean, and they'll eat pretty much anything. Yeah, social media, they are. And even being a small channel like this, and I know you know that, Red Leg, but um, I get censored like crazy. There's tons of comments, and so if you guys ever leave a comment and you think I don't respond or like it, it's probably because I've never seen it. At times I'll get a notification and then there's nothing there. So, as well as lately, I think the newest thing, and I don't deem to be like the best channel out there, but I was growing at a pretty steady pace. Now I'm like hovering, and I'll gain 2 subscribers and lose 2 subscribers in the same day. I mean, I haven't moved in like a week or two, so I kind of feel like I'm throttled or something to a degree. It's really weird. Much closer than most people realize. Well, I agree with that definitely. Like I said, I don't want to put a date on it, but I definitely think the world is getting pretty dark pretty quick too. 50 feet from their dwelling. Well, that could be tricky. Um, I can see how that would be hard if you live in the city. Um, I've never seen any videos or known anybody that's done it, but I've heard some people comment on videos and things that you can raise chickens indoors. And I would think you could if you had a big enough cage. You could probably have 3 or 4 hens in it. They don't require a lot of space. Some people are under the wrong impression about confining chickens because honestly, psychologically, they deal with small areas pretty well. They don't require a lot of space. I think it's like a foot and a half square feet per chicken. Some of them require more than that because they are a domesticated animal. So some are a little more temperamental and they like a little bit bigger area. But yeah, you can put a lot of chickens in a small area and it does not bother them one bit. Trust me. Yeah, and I've seen in the small town by me, some people, they have hens running around their backyard in the city too. So, and yeah, I had to confine all of my enclosures outside for my chickens are they're completely enclosed because there's some giant birds out here. I mean, I worry about my little wiener dog outside at times. They're that big. Shadow banning, yeah. And I wouldn't believe it was real. I heard a lot of people talking about it in a lot of the videos I've watched over the years, but until you have your own channel and you experience it yourself, I know it's real. I know people get banned. Yeah, and that's the thing with the smaller yards like that. And I know I can't just tell people, uproot and move, move out of the city. I get, issues and problems with that if you're stuck in a mortgage or somewhere where you can't leave. Um, but it's definitely something you should be looking into because if things get bad enough, I would not want to be in the big city for sure. Not sure you'd want them in your house. Yeah, I mean they can be rather stanky. It would if you had them in your home, you would definitely want to be cleaning on a regular basis with them. That's awesome. You'd have a big jamming party. When I was a kid, my grandma had two big Granny Smith apple trees in her backyard in the city, and oh my God, we had so many apples. It was ridiculous. You could go out there at any given time and fill two giant buckets full of them, and then it got so out of hand. Like she would just have the neighbors tell them to come in the yard and take all they wanted. So, and the land that we have now, we moved on. Like I said, it's only an acre and a half. But when we moved here, at some point, somebody really was eager with planting things. There's was like some grape stuff all knocked over it, rotted away, and like there's mulberry bushes or mulberry trees, and what is those other ones that they look like giant black huckleberries? We have a bunch of those everywhere. I mean, you can tell at some point somebody did a lot of things here, but then it kind of fell apart. I think they rented it out for a long time or something, kind of let it go. Because when I first moved here, I would go out in the backyard at any area of the yard and could dig up, just random things. I found like deer horns buried out in my backyard here. So I don't know what all's going on here. It's like a ran down home. They fixed everything on the house, but the land is just it requires a lot of work. I'm not even near where I need to be with it. The biggest conspiracy I believe, uh, 9/11 is one. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Mine's a little deeper than that, honestly. If you really get down to, if I would encourage people to look into a guy named William Cooper. If you go down that rabbit hole, it goes a long way. So, I mean, it really becomes a conspiracy of good and evil with me, and it's all throughout life, everywhere, all the media, everywhere you look, everything you read, and it goes way back, hundreds and thousands of years. All this conspiracy stuff. So I try not to go down those rabbit holes much anymore, just because it just keeps going and going and going and going. And well, I have a lot of other things going on in an everyday life to go do, and as well as trying to create content for this channel. So I don't have a lot of time to go down rabbit holes much anymore. I've read or watched videos about every conspiracy you could probably imagine over the years. I really got into it probably, mm, I don't know, 12 or so years ago. I had a security job back then, and I would I was posted somewhere where all I had to do was sit there in the evening, and nobody came through the gate, and so I would just get on YouTube for literally 8 hours at a time and watch conspiracy videos. So I've seen a lot of them. You know, back when Alex Jones was real big. I mean, he still is, but over some time of watching him and things, you know, there's kind of some holes in that guy, and yeah, he might tell you 99 right things, but then he'll tell you something that's just ridiculous. So, and I kind of feel like he's part of the plan at times, even. So, but yeah, 9/11, it is a big one. It is. Brown under your nails from canning apples and peaches. Yeah, we get so many mulberries here, it's insane. I mean, more than we could ever do anything with, but for some reason, and I don't know if that's just how that plant is, but it's a short period. Like we get them for maybe 3 or 4 weeks at best, and then it just doesn't produce very many more berries. So I don't know if there's a trick to that. It's probably something I need to look into, but I don't do much to any of this stuff here that was already here. It just naturally does its own thing. Since I've been here, I've done a few different gardening things. The first year, I just had a big bucket garden. Basically, I had pallets laid out, and then 3 to 5 gallon buckets with all my plants in it. And that was the year it was really wet here, so I had a lot of issues, and I didn't do well at all in the buckets. So the next year, actually made rows in a little area of my yard. It's probably, I don't know, 1,500 square foot, and I had some successes with that. There was a few things I didn't do well on, but overall, it did pretty well considering I didn't give it as much care as I probably should have. You know, too much work all the time. So, but this year I plan on doing a few different things. I want to do the in-ground stuff as well as I caught a good deal on some. It's like these bags that you fill with dirt. I bought some really big ones, so it's kind of like having a raised bed garden, but just in a big black bag. So I've never tried anything like that. We'll see how it goes. History of the Illuminati and the Great Reset. Yeah, and really it goes way back. I mean, to like the Knights Templar, and I mean it it goes way back, hundreds of years. Freeze them. Yeah, my wife makes like cobbler with the mulberries. We'll buy some strawberries and mix with them. I tried my hand at strawberries this last year, but they didn't fare well. But I put them in big containers. I have a couple of them, and I mean they stayed alive. They didn't produce any berries really. So I actually when I was buying them, I bought them at like Home Depot, I think it was, and somebody was there and said, "Oh, they bought those the year before, and the first year they didn't really do much, and then the second year she had them, they did really well. So we'll see how those go. Because yeah, out of all the berries, that's probably my favorite is strawberries. I'm not a huge mulberry fan or um, even blackberries and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan. So 2 years, yeah, that's what I heard. So I'm hopeful. I mean, it's been cold and it's froze a few times here, and I go over and peek at them every once in a while, and there's still a little green on them. So I hope they blow up next year. That'd be awesome. But I'm wanting to go bigger. I ended up fencing off the area that I did the garden in before, and made it just a hair bigger. But I probably have, I don't know, 2,500 square feet or something like that, which I'd like it a lot bigger because that'll produce a lot, but not as much as I'd like to produce if I want to be just completely self-sufficient on that. And right now I'm just want to take the weight off a little bit from going to the grocery store because it's getting kind of ridiculous as far as fresh fruits and veggies here. Like a forgot what it was. Like a bell pepper was like $1.59 or something the other day when I went to the store, which is insane. So the more of that stuff I can grow here, the less it takes out of my pocketbook, so to speak. Yeah, chicken poop. Yeah, I use everything I clean out of the chicken coops. I let it build up for a while, and it kind of starts to break down anyways. You just keep adding layers to it, and then after a few months of that, you basically want to keep it fresh smelling in there. But after a few months of that, then I'll go out there and dig down about 6 inches and add that to my compost, add some green stuff, and food waste and things like that. I throw a lot of eggs in my compost just because I have so many laying hens that it gets out of hand at times. I get way too many eggs that I just more than I know what to do with. And I sell some of them, but I don't sell nearly enough of them. I mean, it's to the point like if I make breakfast, I cook like 16 eggs just to get rid of them, and I'll feed half of them to the dogs or whatever. But so I have probably more hens than I need, but I don't think that's a bad thing. They really don't cost a lot to feed. So is anybody else out there? That was kind of the um, main topic of this video. Does anybody else have like good things skill wise they think they're good at? I mean, I know everybody's mediocre, but and I'm kind of new to the compost thing as well. Like I really haven't done much of it honestly, but lately, yeah, I've been really messing with it. I do need a freeze dryer, most definitely. I do. It's on the list. My preps have kind of slowed to a crawl lately just because the uncertainty of my new job. I'm getting paid less, so kind of waiting to see how that goes. I haven't even got a paycheck yet, so kind of holding out. But I'd say the main area of my concern right now, as far as prepping, is working on my water storage, like water replenishment, I guess. You know, I need a way to collect rainwater, basically. And I've been watching a lot of videos and ways to do it. I really just need to go down and buy a bunch of parts and just throw something together. Really, I have the big, what do they call them, the IBC tote. It's like a 200, I think 220, 240 gallon container. I'd like to get a couple more of them, honestly, but yeah, I'm gonna buy some guttering and things and make me like a water catchment thing. So, and for now, if anything, I can use it to water my animals because as it is right now, like I basically have to carry a 5 gallon bucket out there, and it's I don't know 70 yards from my house, so it's not a lot of fun. Depending on the weather, it can be really bad. What kind of roof do I have? Uh, just a normal shingled roof. So that's the issue with that is, I mean, I'm gonna filter the water anyways if I'm gonna drink it, but um, I've heard that it's not good, for water catchment. So I'm wanting to buy some of the, metal panels or whatever and put them on my chicken run is what I'm wanting to do because my tote is out, you know, underneath my awning out there with the chicken coop and all that. So I basically feed it into the building into that from their chicken run. I just got to go buy some stuff. But I have thought about just getting some barrels at least and put on the existing guttering I have. Just if worse comes to worse, there's an extra 100 gallons or whatever. I don't know where all you guys live, but how's the weather where you guys are? It's been kind of crazy here. Like it was freezing for a few days, and then now it's like it's spring again, and it's got me all messed up. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice and everything. So Hello, Jackie. How's it going this evening? All right, guys, it's been 40 minutes, and honestly, I'm extremely tired. I worked 6 days straight and had to wrestle a bunch of kids to the ground, so I am ready for a day off, which is tomorrow. I really appreciate everybody joining me this evening. It really helps my channel out. You know, anybody want to share my videos or find me, some extra subscribers is great. I'm just trying to get my message through, and the best way to do that is to share this because honestly, I'm pretty censored by YouTube at this point, I'm pretty sure. So I can see it every day. All right, well, I appreciate you guys joining me, and I will catch you guys on the flip side later.